Alright guys, today's improvements for the Talon is I relocated the dash from its factory location in the center console up to here, right in front of the driver's head, next to my mirror. That's as high as I can get it with still being in my view. The only reason I really need this dash is it's nice to know if you're an auto or manual, but you can usually figure that out. The real problem is you need engine temperature, and the best way to do it is with this dash right here. Thought about running a dedicated temperature gauge, but the dash is only like $100. The other one got water in it, so I figured I'd just replace it. So I just tapped into the factory harness here, added 5 feet of wire, you can see there, 2 feet this way, 2 feet this way, and then some slack for some corners, and that worked out perfect. Just a little bit of soldering. There's only 10 wires, so 20 solder joints. And then I zip tied it up here to the roll bar, and I put a self-tapping screw to keep it from rotating downward. So that screw keeps it so as it vibrates it won't come down. I think that's going to be necessary. But it's actually up there pretty well. That's temporary unless it works, obviously, and I think it's going to work just fine. So let's go turn it on and see how it looks, and we'll drive around. So there's your screen. Seatbelts flashing, four-wheel drive lights on, which is totally normal, by the way, on these things. Don't freak out. You just got to drive around for a little while at high speed, and that light will go off. That's the project for the rest of the day. That is a 6-cylinder BMW Toyota Supra. It's probably the most fun car ever. I'll make a review that no one will watch. So here's the dash, working good. I guess I'll put my seatbelt on so that light stops flashing. I can go over, 10 miles an hour. Safety. We go to manual mode. Very premium. Like I said, the main thing you want to keep an eye on here is temperature if you're in a lot of mud and whatnot. So that looks pretty good. Let's go over some bumps and see if it moves. Whoa! A little air. Looks pretty solid to me. Oh yeah! Awesome. Well, that worked out quite well. We already tested out the four-wheel drive. I wish that light wasn't on when it was off, because that's confusing, but the screen's working well. All the other things I did today was change the air filter. Let me show you what that original filter looked like. It was pretty nasty, but it's a really good filter, and it kept all the dirt and mud out of the engine, which is great. But it's definitely time to replace it. I'm sure I was losing some airflow. So it's supposed to all be green, and as you can see, only this part's green. This is all very black and nasty and stuff. So nothing was coming through, fortunately. Not enough to worry about at all, but definitely time to change it. So the factory location for the Talon filter is pretty terrible and very prone to getting mud and stuff in it. Everyone's like, oh, it's a shitty filter. It's not really a shitty filter. It's a good filter, and it's just about as big as you can get on any side-by-side. The problem is where they located it. The front tire throws a lot of mud into that intake flute, which, unlike the Supra, the Talon has functional intakes on the side. Don't get me started on the fake vents on that Supra. So this is a functional intake vent, Toyota BMW. There's a stick in it. But if your front tire is eaten, this flap doesn't stick out far enough, and it'll throw mud straight into this vent, and it gets into the factory pipe. Once you snorkel it up, it's not really an issue anymore. But yeah, just a little maintenance items. Also, when I changed my portal fluid, there's a lot of metal in there as expected. A lot of metal, so definitely change your portal fluid after your first or second ride, and then go a few more rides and change it again, because yeah, you don't want that metal living in there. That's going to increase the wear on the gears and everything else. Also, we put the new 5/16" winch line on there. 50 feet of it fills up a wide spool winch just perfect. It looks really sharp. So everything's pretty much good to go. All we got to do now is go ride it.